Well, hello and welcome to a new video. Today I thought we would play another game of Guess the Eyeshadow Palettes. So let's go. So the rules are, I'm showing you one by one which particular eyeshadow I put where on my eye. Once those shades have been dealt with, then I'm going to show you the rest of the shades within this particular eyeshadow palette. And of course, you're supposed to play the game and not go at the end of the video and watch what eyeshadow palette this is and just try to guess up until the very last point. Okay, so here's what we got. I used this shade to structure my eye and also all over my lid as a base, if you will. I then used this black to further accentuate the outside portion of my eye and also a little bit in the crease. I used this shade, which is very similar to this one, but it's just a different kind of a texture, and I used it to kind of blend in those two shades together. I then used this shade to blend in the edges all around and bring it up to my brow bone. And then I used this shimmery shade on my lid and a little bit right under my brow. And then on my lower lash line, I pretty much did the same thing where I continued the black in here and then those wine kind of shades. And then of course this shimmery one kind of more in here. And then these are the other shades that are in this palette. So there's a couple more shimmery metallic shades and then a bunch of matte. There's also a very light one here. I don't know if you can tell. So this palette has 15 shades. There's 3 shiny metallics and then there's 12 mattes. But within those 12 mattes, there are 4 shades that have a different texture that's a bit more creamy. So, have you guessed? Today on my eyes, I used the Natasha Denona Biba palette. And here is what it looks like. So I used these shades as well as this black here, that one, and this shiny one on my lid. I wanted to use this palette because it's a beautiful one. It's also, Natasha Denona quality is just top notch. They blend themselves. And I usually focus more towards those neutral brown kind of colors. I don't necessarily go for bold looks like this when I'm using this palette. And so I thought it was a good idea to include it in my Guess the Eyeshadow palette game. And so that way I could kind of challenge myself and use it differently than I normally would. I also considered using these 2 shades because I've never touched them except for those swatches I just did, but I wanted to go with a more rusty look today, so that will be for another time. So this palette sure is expensive. I believe it's 120 euros, something like that. It is the amazing quality of Natasha Denona eyeshadows. Like I said, they blend themselves. It's arguably not a palette that a beginner would get, because why would you spend so much money on makeup if you're just starting and you don't really wear a lot of makeup to begin with? But it's a shame that it's so expensive, because some people are going to be like repelled by the price, because it is beginner friendly. I feel like you do have a bit of fallout, but like I said, they blend themselves. And so in my opinion, if you're new at makeup and you don't really have all the right brushes to really blend out an eye look, and you don't really know how to do, or you just don't want to spend 10 minutes like making sure that your eyeshadow is blended all together, then this is really the perfect palette. Now, like I said, you have shiny metallic shades, which are beautiful. They're not like super metallic, super glittery, in your face, super reflective, but they're definitely very beautiful. And this is more of an everyday eyeshadow palette. This is very neutral, so it wouldn't have made much sense to have like crazy glittery shades in there. As far as the matte shadows are concerned, like I said, there are 4 mattes that have a bit of a different texture. So you have Rayon, which I used, Tone, Door, and Spot. And I don't really know how to describe it to you. They're a bit more creamy. They have almost a very soft satin finish, which is beautiful. They're, like I said, yeah, very creamy, and you can see that they do blend very nicely, but they keep their pigment. Because of that, they tend to give a bit more fallout than the regular mattes. And I have used this one as a liner before, but I wouldn't recommend doing it because it's, I don't know, it's just a bit more crumbly, especially if you just dig an eyeliner brush in there. So that is it for our Guess the Eyeshadow game. I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel because it's free, so why wouldn't you? And I will see you guys next time. Bye!